Yo, what is up, y'all? It's Cone back here again today with another video. You're probably sick of seeing my face, but the NBA keeps doing crazy things, so here I am recording again. Rudy Gobert just got traded out of nowhere to the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's been something that's been rumored. The Timberwolves have been reportedly interested in putting another center on the roster next to Towns, who's likely going to move over to power forward. I wouldn't expect them to put Rudy Gobert there. So now they've got like the biggest and probably most expensive front court in NBA history. And it's something that was kind of hinted at, but it wasn't like, oh, this deal might be happening. Like, oh, there's mutual interest. It was just out of nowhere, Woj, Minnesota's landing Rudy Gobert in a absolutely insane trade package. When I first saw it, my first thought was, okay, probably like D'Lo, Michael Beasley, like 2 or 3 first-round picks, like probably something along those lines, maybe like a Jared Vanderbilt or a Jaden McDaniels. The package is Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, which is hilarious, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, and multiple first-round picks, which sounds kind of like a fleece for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, Rudy Gobert is on a massive contract, and between his contract and Cat's, they're now paying 2 centers around $100 million per year. But in combination, like, I think they can fit really well. Cat, while he might have trouble guarding some 4s, he's probably more of a 5 defensively. He fits the mold of a 4 on the offensive end. And now Rudy Gobert gives them a rim protector who can really help them kind of maybe unlock Cat's game, have him focus more on the offensive end, less having to be a rim protector. Now they have a true one, the best in the league, in Rudy Gobert. So initially off the bat, it sounds like it might be kind of a fleece, but we need to take a look at the full trade package, because when Woj said multiple first round picks, he didn't mean 2 or 3 or even 4. It is 4 first round picks, 3 of which are unprotected in 2023, 2025, and 2027, but a 4th first round pick, top 5 protected in 2029, which doesn't even sound like a real year when I say it. So they are absolutely all in. They are putting all their eggs in this basket. They are all in with this Rudy Gobert, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns big 3, D'Lo big 4, I guess. He might even get moved too, because they've been rumored to be looking to trade him. They're absolutely all in on this team. It's really, really risky. It's also very fun. As a fan of good basketball, I really think this Timberwolves team is going to be great. D'Angelo Russell, even if they keep him or if they trade him, assuming they keep him, because we don't know if they're going to trade him or not, he's a solid defensive point guard. He can play make. He was really solid last season up until about the playoffs, but now he has a little bit of pressure taken off of him because the supporting cast is better. Anthony Edwards is one of the young stars of the league. He keeps getting better. He is an incredible player that is only going to continue on the rise. Now at the 3, they can run either Jaden McDaniels for more defense, or Kyle Anderson is also a great option there too, who they just picked up in free agency, so I'm loving that pickup even more now. Cat and Rudy Gobert, it's an incredibly talented starting 5. It's also an incredibly expensive one, especially because Anthony Edwards is going to be up for an extension pretty soon, but it is one that is incredibly talented, and I believe puts them right there in the thick of it in the Western Conference. I really think with a jump from Anthony Edwards, some continued consistent play from D'Lo, and maybe a rise from Karl Anthony Towns, filling out the bench a little bit because they did give up a lot of their solid role players in that deal, this can be one of the best teams in the West. I truly believe that. There are some people that are going to clown this move because Rudy Gobert's contract is huge, but he's an incredible player. You don't win multiple Defensive Player of the Years for no reason. He's legitimately the best rim protector and best defensive center in the league. So you add that now on a team that last season was one of the best offensive teams in the league, and has young pieces that can continue to get better. It's not like you're just putting Gobert on last year's roster. You're putting him on a roster that is young and is continuing to grow and get better, and now has their key piece in Karl Anthony Towns, as well as Anthony Edwards, who's currently cheap, locked up for long term. So they took advantage of Anthony Edwards being on his rookie deal, and just signing Cat to that extension to bring in a guy in Rudy Gobert who can fix a lot of their defensive issues. They've already got the offensive talent. They got the best rim protector in the league. I think they need to add a little bit of perimeter defense. That definitely is something that is going to be probably the biggest question mark for them, having two bigs out there in Cat and Gobert. D'Lo's a pretty solid perimeter defender. You could put McDaniels or Kyle Anderson out there who are solid perimeter defenders. You need Anthony Edwards to continue to get better on that end, and it can probably work out, but you've definitely got to put in some work and make some trades for guys like that on the back end of this trade going into next season. I'm sure there are more moves to come. There's no way they're done. even though they don't have like any first round picks now, I'm assuming they'll find a way to make things happen. This is going to be a really fun Timberwolves team. I can't wait to see how it works out. It was something that everyone was kind of like, oh, this is weird that they're pursuing a center. And not just that, they went out and got the biggest name center on the market in Rudy Gobert. The Timberwolves are going to be really fun. It is very, very risky. That is a ton of draft capital. That's near the amount of draft capital that the Thunder got for Paul George, which also brought Kawhi Leonard. Of course, the Timberwolves didn't get a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander in the trade, which explains why they got so much draft capital. But still, ever since that trade, the pick market has been completely out of whack. And now we're also going to see this sets the tone because Kevin Durant is on the market. And if they're getting 4 first-round picks and a pick swap for Rudy Gobert, imagine what the Nets are going to get for Kevin Durant. Just saying. Also, on the Jazz side of things, of course, some people think that this kind of means they're going to stay with Donovan Mitchell and rebuild around him, but I'm kind of on the other side. I think this might be signaling the end for Donovan Mitchell in Utah. And this team is not good. You have Patrick Beverley, you have Donovan Mitchell, Malik Beasley, Bojan Bogdanovic, and Jared Vanderbilt, I guess, is their center right now. Now, there are rumors they're interested in maybe DeAndre Ayton, so maybe they convince Donovan Mitchell to stay. They're kind of bad next season, and they try and retool using these first-round picks. That is a possibility. But I kind of have an inkling that this might be the end for Donovan Mitchell because they didn't get back like any star players. They got back a lot of solid role players, but they're going to need more than that to compete in the West. So I wouldn't be surprised if Donovan Mitchell's gone. Maybe he wants to stay and they decide to rebuild this thing. That is also a real possibility. But what's very interesting is now they do have a good package for a DeAndre Ayton with a bunch of first-round picks and role players if they want to do that. They have the package potentially too for a Kevin Durant. If the Brooklyn Nets, I couldn't think of their team name for some reason, want a bunch of picks and they decide to rebuild, this is a pretty good package. You could throw them all of these first round picks as well as some of your own, some of these role players, send them back to Brooklyn for Kevin Durant and pair him and Donovan Mitchell, which could be a fun pairing if they wanted to go that route. The problem is they don't have the young star that the Nets reportedly want, like a Devin Booker. They don't really have that guy unless they trade Donovan Mitchell, which doesn't make any sense. The goal would be to pair the two, but they do have an incredible number of assets now to make that pairing potentially. So that is something that's really interesting. Maybe they could go out, like I said, and get DeAndre Ayton. They do have an interesting package now. If the Suns think that they can get pretty good production from any number of centers, then why not go ahead and get some depth pieces like a Malik Beasley, a Patrick Beverley, a Jared Vanderbilt to add to your squad, figure out your center position, just kind of get like a decent guy to put out there, and there you go. Or hell, you could even maybe run Jared Vanderbilt at center. He's undersized, but he's pretty good defensively, and all he has to really do is catch lobs from Chris Paul. That's really all he's got to do, and be a defensive anchor, which he can really do. So this trade immediately, I don't know who won this one. I think it's a potentially great trade for both sides. It is very, very risky for the Timberwolves, though. This is a high risk, high reward trade that they made here, and I like it. Why not go all in? You have been outside the playoffs for so long. You finally made the playoffs this past year. You've got a fun young core that has the potential to compete for the next few seasons. Why not go all in? Why not make these deals like bringing in a Rudy Gobert? They just brought in Tim Conley to their front office. He immediately gets a move done, brings in Rudy Gobert. As for the Jazz, if you're going to give up on Gobert, give up on this duo, it makes sense to bring in as many assets as possible to either rebuild this team around Donovan Mitchell, because now you have picks for 2023, 2025, 27, 29. Like I said, that doesn't even sound like a real year, and a pick swap in 2026. You've got so much draft capital now that you can flip to rebuild around Donovan Mitchell, or if you go the rebuild route, you have Donovan Mitchell as a trade piece. You trade him, you get now probably like 20 first round picks in total between those two guys, and boom, you've got a pretty solid rebuild start on your hands. So it's a crazy trade. I don't necessarily have a winner off the bat. I'm very, very excited to watch the Timberwolves this season. I can't wait to see how it goes. If you're a Timberwolves or Jazz fan, please let me know how you're feeling, because I've seen very mixed opinions on Twitter from both Jazz and Timberwolves fans on what they think this means for their franchises, how they feel about it. Please let me know in the comment section below. If you're a neutral fan, let me know who you think won this trade, or if you like the Gobert fit for Minnesota, if you like the picks for Utah. Let me know all of that in the comments. Please leave a like and subscribe if you did enjoy. I'm trying to grind out these free agent agency videos to y'all as soon as the big moves happen. So don't miss out on that. Make sure to leave a subscribe. I appreciate y'all watching. I will see you all later. Real one say back.